All right, let's see how well I do with the video. Introducing our new 2022 Ram 1500. Brand new too. There we go. So we got it in bright white. It's a Bighorn edition with the Bighorn option 2 or B. It has the 5.7 Hemi with the E-Torque. E-Torque is a new design of not only starter, but it adds a little horsepower. It's kind of a hybrid, but not. It works off of a 48-volt system, which I actually don't know where they put the other battery pack. We'll get to that a little later. So for right now, as you can see, it's a crew cab. The rear door is pretty darn big. We'll go in the front here. Got the towing mirrors, of course, and they fold in, of course, by the buttons on the door. It has all the standard features for power windows and everything. It's we got the floor mats, and what I didn't like is I thought we would be getting the cloth mats and then the all-weather mats on top of the cloth, but no, or to replace the cloth like the Kia has, where they were options that you can purchase separately, but you always got the cloth mats with them. So hopefully I can get a set of cloth mats for this for the summertime. I definitely have to put a pair of covers over the seats to keep them all nice. They are not perforated for air conditioning, but they are heated. So down here, one of the options is that the pedals move. So it'll bring them closer to you or push them further down toward the floor. And of course, this is a telescopic and tilt wheel. The one thing I have to get used to is this stick is for the windshield wipers, which it's starting to rain out, so hopefully I can get this video done quick. And that's typically the blinker along with lights. And since they put the lights down here, they put the wiper switches instead of on that side. They brought them over to this side, stock. So of course you got your option switches for your in-dash display, which is not lit up at the moment, right there in the middle, and your telephone switches, and then cruise control, gear limit, paddle wheel, up down, or button press for up down. They still retained the old look of dial gauges, which I really am impressed about, that they just kept it all these years. We got a full-size, well, it's not the full-size, the largest screen, but this is the 10.1 touch screen with still tactile buttons too. And down here, of course, rather than an arm hanging down on the right side of the steering wheel, we have the automatic knob, two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, automatic shut-off for the engine. When you come to a light, it shuts down the engine. And this is the only vehicle that when you come to a light and you let off the gas, it actually starts at that point. But for the period of time it takes you to go from the brake pedal to the gas pedal, it automatically starts, so that way when you start hitting the gas pedal, the engine's already running and you're ready to go. Other vehicles, for some reason, you let off the brakes, and it doesn't start the engine right away until you touch the gas pedal. The Ford does that, and I believe the top of the line Chevy, I think this is the first year that the Chevy had it mandatory in their vehicles. But along with all the standard tactile buttons here for your heated seats, steering wheel, recirculation, AC off and everything, modes, your fan speeds and what vents are going. It's dual zone at this level of trim level, which I like. And it even has a rear window defogger because the rear window is so far away that the heat doesn't get there that quickly. It's nice to have a little pocket down here for your cell phone or whatever, all the connections. This slides back and you have your vertical clip for 2 cell phones. This option, the option for wireless charging, is not here. You'd see an Insignia standing here to show that there's wireless charging. We have a 110 volt power, 400 watt only. There's another hidden pocket right here, which is nice. That's probably where I'm going to put the manuals and such. And this compartment goes all the way back underneath, way back in that direction. As you can see, it's down low, sitting right on top of the hump in the middle. And I put my sunglass cases in there. So when you bring this back, it has multiple stops, your cup holders, coin tray, and little things tray. I found those 2 items. They were in the truck when I picked it up. I don't know what they're for. The rear seat cup holders in the center. There's 2 latches here. One is the armrest, opens up to expose a tray in here, and that also has a USB port, so you can put your iPod or another phone in there, and it can go to your media center. And there's also a cord output over here, so your phone can be out here and plug in over there. So then there's a second latch that when you open up the whole thing, that's the rear end. And what I really like about this is there's a flap here that you lift up, and it contains everything in the front, so if you step on the gas fast, it doesn't slide all the way to the rear. And then anything in the back here will be contained underneath this console, vertical lifting console. On the back of the console, which is cool, is they have a tilt diagram and where your center of gravity is and all, and I have not studied it yet, but at some point I'm actually going to figure that out. I really wish this was in white. It is raised letters, so I'm going to get some, what do they call that? Not the carbon trace, but they have white trace paper that you can put over it, and then you rub it, and the white will transfer onto the raised lettering, and that way I can actually see it better. So that's the center console. Let me get in and over on, well, let me go up. Up front here, you can see we have an Alpine stereo that actually has what I would consider a fake surround, but it gives you some sort of surround. It's nice that they give you a handle on both sides, not just the passenger side. 12 volt DC regular round plug there for whatever you want to sit here, and there's a ridge here so your phone can stand up in it. I guess I could do that with a dash cam, make this phone into a dash cam. Yeah, look at that. I'll have to think about it. And then up top, we have paper clips, believe it or not. So I have my registration behind that one, but there's one and a garage door opener and paper clip here, and of course vanity mirrors on both sides that light up. Right now, of course, we have the call center and the SOS button, which are complimentary for the first month. Your lights on, off, doors on constant, and that's the one that's in the back here. Actually, I think it's all of them. And these are, I think these are blanks. These are not microphones. And then, of course, here's your sliding rear window control and eyeglasses, which I don't have in there at the moment. This mirror does tint at nighttime so that the headlights behind you aren't as bright. And this truck is equipped, which I was told, and I'm not sure if this trim level actually has it. One of these two is a microphone for your cell phone, and the other one is a microphone for noise canceling. As the noise outside grows, this is supposed to hear it and emit the negative wave to stop the outside noise from entering the vehicle. So it makes this vehicle much quieter than typical vehicles. And then over there on the passenger side, there's another pair. And I've come to find out that you can hook two cell phones and have two separate conversations at the same time. I don't know how they do it with how they keep the audio coming in separate, but I guess we'll have to find out at some point. So of course, mate to that mirror, certain controls over there, big pocket in the door, it reaches all the way back. Let's look at this one. Huge pocket in the door. Console has a paper pocket on this side and the passenger side. And then of course, you've got to flip up with a light. Kind of can see the light. Flip up glove compartment and the drop down glove compartment, which is nice to have because the dashboard is so huge. Now, of course, I'm going to put a CV in here. The question is when and where. I'm not sure when, but at some point in the future, I got to figure out where to put the antennas first. So that's all that there is in the front. Of course, the headrests go up and down with the clip lever and all, and they tilt forward and spring back, so you have multiple adjustments. You can see the height right on the shoulder strap that will raise up in the slot and allow you to change the height depending on how tall you are. This seat is powered, so this seat has all the controls over here, not only back lumbar but forward, back, and this actually rocks and drops the rear down or brings the front up. So the whole thing will raise up or go down, but it also will tilt the bottom, and I believe the wings come in and out too. Yeah, they're just squeezed against here, so they squeeze a little bit. Oops, I'm not showing it on the screen. They squeeze against here, so this squeezes in just a tick when we drop it down or lift it up. So that's pretty much the front interior. The rear interior, another big pocket in the door, and of course you only have one control for the window here. Rubber mats that go across the whole rear floor, which is great. And then this level of truck that has the larger rear door, the crew cab version, they have pockets down underneath the floor, which is an option for any of the crew cabs. So these pockets, you can actually put ice in here and keep cool drinks, and this pocket comes out to be cleaned, so there's a secondary pocket underneath. Now, I don't know if there's like enough room for hidden stuff underneath, or is this pocket exactly the right height and it sits on the floor, but we'll find out. And that's the reason why I wanted another reason why I wanted the regular rug in here is because they have these tie-down hooks. So if you want to tie anything into the rear end, you've got these hooks to actually help you, both front, rear, and there's another pocket over on the other side with two of those hooks also. I'm sorry about not pointing at the right thing all the time, but we'll get there. So we have the vent in the rear, another AC outlet that's only 400 watt, USB charging stations only, And it has the new USB-C, which is great, and then a pocket here to hold it and hold your phone. And these pockets are really nice because this button is rubber. It is not neoprene. And that is a plus because the Toyota Tacoma that we had 3 tabs in their pockets, but they wore out and disintegrated because they were hit by the ultraviolet light, and it degraded them and they just broke free. I believe this also, it's all rubber. You can see I'm squishing it. And I'm pretty sure this is replaceable if it goes bad. You could just pop this whole rubber piece out and replace it. Where the ones for the Toyota, you have to dig in there and get the stuff, the original part, neoprene part. You had to clean all that out and alcohol and everything and then stick in a new one, and it cost about the same. So, of course, you know, that side has a big giant pocket in the door, and then we have this little flip-up divider to keep things underneath the seat. This edge will flip up, or the whole thing will flip back that way if you want. There's a lever here, and I have no idea what this pull cord is for. I'm not sure what that's for, but this will flip up, and that hole is there for a reason, so it goes over that pull cord. So I'm unsure what in the world that is for. I have to look in the book for it. But there's still, you know, a lot of room underneath for hiding things. If you have to travel with tools or something, you can just stick them back behind the bracket and they won't move, like an axe or axe handle or something, and it'll just sit there and it's out of the way. There's a cover over a vent system here. I think this is an output vent. It lets the air escape the vehicle. The bottom of this, which is great, they actually have a zipper here. This is a zipper, so you can actually get into this, into the bottom of the seat, I guess, to repair it if you had to. I'm not sure, but of course they come down. It's a 60-40 split, and there's a cup holder in the armrest. So this rear end, the crew cab portion, is so nice. They got loops back here for child seat holders, I believe, and if you need to hook coat hangers. So you have garment hooks here. You have garment hooks up on the ceiling. I believe these are active speakers for the noise canceling, and that's another, I believe, microphone for noise canceling. I'm not sure, but I'm going to actually research that a little bit more. As you can see, the window has some lines in it. It's not only heated, but this is motor controlled. Headrests flip back, hit the button on the side, and it releases it, which reminds me I wanted to do that over here so I can see out the back a little bit. They do not seem to go up and down. They're locked in place, so they don't raise and lower, and I don't see any button to release it. So that's kind of a bummer. But yeah, it's starting to rain, so let me hurry here. Rear seats. It's like driving a living room. It's wonderful. Right now the bed is empty, and I'm going to get Line-X to spray line this whole bed, and I'm also going to have a tonneau cover that covers this whole thing and locks on the rear corner. But it has a box that sits across this area, and it actually rolls up. So you have a lever that will allow you to pull it down tailgate, not only LEDs, but it's hydraulically controlled, so it doesn't just drop. Hitch. I don't have the brake control, but I actually have the wiring for it. Now I just have to get the correct brake control and install it. And off this back end, I'm going to have one of those racks that comes up and protects the rear window. And it's not only going to protect the rear window, I'm planning on the arm that's coming up here, put on way up high, a mount that will hold my CB antenna, and I may do co-phase CB antennas. So it is starting to rain. Let me get into the truck. Nice big tow hooks on the front. And this grill down here, underneath, there is so much room between this bumper and the actual front stay that I can actually put a winch hidden in here and then cut this out for the winch. We'll get to the engine later. I'm gonna jump in real quick. So I started the truck, and you can see that the heads-up display there, it's not a heads-up display, I'm sorry. The center display shows you all these options or different messages, all controlled by this button here on the left of the steering wheel. And it scrolls through all the different options just like every other car. I disabled the start-stop, which is pressing that button, and I usually leave it on the miles per gallon. But if you look in the lower left, you can see that it says entry exit. That is where the ride height is right now. The ride height is controlled by this button. And you can see there's one LED. When I push up, it starts that blinking, and it raises the truck up about 1.5 inches, I think, to the what they call the aero level, which is the aerodynamic level. Hit that button again, and you get two LEDs there. Hit that button again, it raises back up again to your normal level. And then you can hit it a 4th time or 3rd time, and it raises up to off-road level. Now, the full travel in height, I am uncertain how much travel it has. I think it's only 6 inches. Because now if I get out of the car, it's a stretch to get to the ground. So that's going to be interesting. I think I can adjust that also so that it actually goes up higher, but we'll see. I kind of don't like them, but these are electric brakes. Push to take it off. Oh, gotta hit the brake pedal. Push to take it off. And then your brake is off. Of course, all these different things, the compass, battery, oil, outside temperature, the top display, the left display, the right display, and even the bottom display. You can modify all these through the settings in here. Screen setup. So you hit OK, and then you got to fiddle with it, and they turn red to tell you which one you're actually changing, and so forth and so on. So I don't like it on messages or audio. I can see that over here on the right, and I'm just going to leave it on trip info. But the actual screen, you hit that button, and that's your profile. So you can have multiple drivers and change the profiles, which changes the look of all this that's in here. It changes, I think it changes the look of the display, but it also changes the brightness for daytime, nighttime, and so forth. And different options like the horn blowing when you lock it or unlock it and crap like that. But other than that, of course, we have the anti-skid switch to turn off, the tow haul, parking brake front, or excuse me, parking sensors front and parking sensors rear. You can turn them off and back on. But other than that, of course, we have Sirius Radio for the next month. There's not that many apps in here at the moment, but it's all standard applications and options that we have in this media center. So of course the standard things like the controls for your AC and such you can do up here if you like it better than the tactile controls, and so forth. Heated seats. If this vehicle was equipped with the deployable step sides, that would appear in here also, but it doesn't. This vehicle doesn't have it at the moment. Oh, there's a mirror dimmer. I don't see it dimming. And I don't know if it's on or off. I think that's on. So it should save that underneath my profile. Swap to the rear camera view. And this, you have the capability of leaving these lines straight at all times, or when you steer the steering wheel, it will steer the lines to show you where you're going to travel, which is nice. And I think that's about it. This is also connected via 4G LTE, so you can actually get weather, traffic, all sorts of stuff on this GPS and media center. You don't have to go through your phone. It has it built in. Well, that's taken a while. But other than that, that takes some getting used to. It's still waiting. That's interesting. I'll have to look at that later. Anyway, but that's about it. So I'm gonna sign off here and let you enjoy the new look of Ram 1500 2022. Kind of classic style, but updated classic style. And boy, does it ride nice. Oh, that reminds me. Let's go back down to the exit level. So I can click it each time, and then that display said entry exit level, and it'll just lower all the way down. It does the front first, then the rear, front, and then the rear, and so forth, which is interesting. I thought it would do all four at the same time, but it doesn't seem to be. The weather app never came up yet. Still lowering. There we go. Well, signing off. We'll catch you again later.